Welcome to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Today, I'm very excited to be speaking with legendary motion and still photographer Jim Ericsson, who has a unique product line of ready-made stock videos that you can license, available on demand, with a lot of B-roll content and just a product that I've not seen before on the marketplace, presented as professionally and as efficiently as we've seen here on his website. Learn more throughout the discussion at ericksonstock.com. So I'd like to welcome Jim into the program today. Jim, how are you doing today?
Fine, Jamie. Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's nice to be here.
So you began your career in photography, and today you're working in the stock video business. So for people that are like, stock video, what is this? Tell us what stock video means.
Stock video is kind of pretty new on the landscape. You know, people have gotten used to buying images to use pictures from a stock agency and use them for advertising or promotion. And, you know, of course, stock video is a new component of that. And we're specializing in video and seniors because we think there's just such a huge need for it. So I'm kind of selling this whole idea about having existing footage. In other words, your ad's already done and shot, or your message, and all you kind of need is a voiceover. So it kind of means that these clips are available for you to use and rearrange and put into your own storyline so that you can kind of make a narrative, something that's kind of interesting to people to watch.
And they're easily accessible, again, at ericksonstock.com, and I watched several of them, and they're perfect. I mean, they're ready to go. You drop your logo in, you do your voiceover. They're exactly like a promotional video that you would expect, and you've got so many of them. I know you center around seniors in healthcare, but there's a lot of different variety on this site. And you know what I like about this is it's right there ready to watch. I mean, you've really taken the risk in this business to produce all these videos, and then the consumers come to you afterwards. What inspired you to kind of do it in that direction?
Well, thanks for asking, Jamie. That's nice of you to say. You know, I've been doing photography for over 40 years and have worked for a lot of, clients that have, a lot of concerns and issues, and they want to tell a story. And so I've kind of transferred that into motion. And, really when it gets down to it, there are just a few themes, love, relationships, caring, hard work, sincerity, being human. And I think as an artist, for me, the greatest thing to kind of touch or observe or share is what goes on in the heart and the mind. And so I focused my work, on that kind of emotional relationships and family. And now I'm turning the video camera to that same thing, except I'm kind of taking the years experience that I've had in working for a lot of different people to understand that these basic themes, need to be told and beautifully told. And once you do that, the different themes of, whether you're a doctor in a clinic or you're in an insurance firm or a banker, you're still talking to people about the human condition, what it's like to be human.
What I likened your site to is, like, everybody knows, or like a lot of people know about Getty Images. If you need stock images, you go to Getty Images. But if you ask for, if you'd asked me before I met you, where do you go for stock video? I'd be like, I don't know. So are you trying to define Erickson Stock as like the Getty Images of the video stock industry?
I think, Jamie, the thing is that the medium is so new. Stock footage, stock film is so new. People really don't understand how to use it. So you can go to Getty or another large agency and say, I want to put together a small video. And at that point, you're kind of getting a lot of abstract clips. So, it could be feel-good moments of grandpa with his grandchild, but then you have to kind of change the content. The thing that we do that's so different is that we're actually creating a story about a character and relating the character so that if someone's coming and they want to make a compelling little piece, they can actually have something that works together, different angles. So it's shot like a filmmaker. We make little films, and then you kind of come back in, and no one is doing that. And I think I kind of know why, because it takes a lot of risk. and, you know, a belief in what you're doing and an understanding of the marketplace. And we kind of feel like we're putting those together.
And you've produced many videos available on your site. What I also commend you for doing is not only did you produce like a 30 to 60 second video, but underneath the video, there's B-roll footage that you could take out, clip in, restructure how you want.
You're a good student, Jamie. Thank you. Yes, that's right. You know, often we've kind of taken what we call these building blocks, these little film clips, and then we've taken them somewhere and we've actually created little spots so that you can see how it works. And so what, again, is so different about this is that when you have the original inspiring scene, you may like a clip or some series of clips that speaks to you or your needs. Down below is this whole list of all related clips. So if you want to tell a different part of the story in a different way. And, you know, I have really come to appreciate the power of music and voiceover and editing. These are all skills that aren't necessarily connected with the camera. But, you know, it's funny how, like, let's say a couple in a canoe can work so well for a medical issue or a problem, or can work so well about retiring well, or about, you know, feeling comfortable that your bank is doing the right thing. Or, you know, so all these different things, again, come back to that theme where, you know, when you're working with a lot of clips on one person or a couple, then the story starts getting flavors, more complex. It's not just one image after another.
And again, I'll guide the people over to your website, ericksonstock.com, where you can see all these videos available on demand. They're right there ready to license. So explain to the audience then how this licensing works. Let's say I want one of those videos and I want to use it on my website. What do I do?
Well, you call us up, first of all, and say, and just tell us what you kind of do. Right now, we're offering a special to license a spot for web and internet and direct mail, and it's $4,500. You can license this, $4,800, excuse me. You license the spot and put your voiceover on, and away you go. You know, the other thing is, I think a lot of people sometimes need a little help, and so we offer a free consultation. If you see the footage, you like the idea, and you're not quite there, give us a call, and we can see how we could help you arrive at a voiceover or good music or tell your little stories so that it makes sense. And so that's something else we're kind of like really service oriented.
And it's definitely an incredible collection. I mean, how many of these stock videos do you roughly have so far?
Right now we have about 160 inspirational videos, and of course out of that with all the accompanying B-roll, you know, so kind of an endless amount of ways you can spin it.
Now you're focusing right now on seniors and healthcare. Why that particular angle with your stock videos?
That's another great question. Thank you. Yeah, why seniors? Yeah, I think for me, it's a lot about bringing awareness to some of the issues that seniors have and the way they're kind of looked at in society. And I also think, you know, a lot of artists don't really want to wrestle with that subject matter because, you know, it's difficult. Sometimes it's emotional. And I think there's a huge need. A lot of our population is growing older. I myself am a senior. And I think there's a huge need for a lot of companies to talk to people who are 50 and over. And, you know, of course we can shoot families and young kids, and I've been doing that my whole career, but I really have been feeling good about working with seniors. And, you know, the people that work with me and the teams that we put together, it's a feel-good topic, you know, and I like working with seniors because they're kind of cool.
You know, it's all about being innovative in business and being out in front of the curve. And I definitely think you're definitely out in front of the curve. Like I said before, I met you for this interview. I wasn't even familiar with the idea of stock videos. And, you know, years ago it was all about, you know, getting images in your content, getting the photography out there. Today it's all about getting video inside of your content, from social media posts, you know, up to your website and out to your consumers. Is that what drove your motivation into starting a stock video footage, this on-demand need and from consumers for video?
I think so, Jamie. I think, you know, the web is the way people communicate, and it's friendly to motion. It likes motion. And I think people want to hit the button. For me, when I go to a news site or I'm shopping or anything, you know, if I see motion, first of all, it kind of puts a feeling that this is a more professional company. But the amount of information I can get from a video is so intense And the way you can steer a client towards a message is really powerful. So, I think the still photograph is always going to be loved and needed. But I think today, talking to people through the medium of motion is going to be huge as a communication tool.
Well, we got to take a short break, but before we head into the break here, we got a short video by Jim Ericsson and his company, Erickson Stock, that demonstrates the quality and the product that we are talking about. So please enjoy this video, and we'll be back after the break on That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
I'm Jim Ericsson. We'd like to offer you something truly unique and different in the stock world. Finished spots, character-driven stories made specifically for you, with a specialty in seniors. You can license any of these pre-made spots you see on Erickson Stock to promote your brand. So go to our website, ericksonstock.com, and click on Motion. Our really cool editors have put these together for you to license right now. When you click on one of the spots, the site will take you to an individual spot page. Up top is the inspirational spot to get you started, and below is BRoll, our transitional material that can support your idea. We're not only offering a different product than all of the other stock agencies combined, we're also creating content differently. You can build your own story, or we can build it for you. Call us up. We'll help you with production, with editing, voiceover, music. We'll find solutions for you. It's an amazing tool for creatives, and I'd like to invite you to take a look at it.
And welcome back to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Today, my guest is Jim Ericsson, legendary motion and still photographer. And I hope you enjoyed that video there that really outlined the product and what we're talking about here. And if you visit ericksonstock.com, you can see a variety of stock video footage available on demand through licensing. Again, ericksonstock.com. So, Jim, you began your career as a photographer before moving into video. What was your inspiration to get into photography?
I fell in love with photography when I was 15 years old, and I signed up for a course in school, and that night I went home and had a dream. And it was kind of like a psychedelic dream, like you'd imagine in the 70s, colors, and I traveled places, and I was just free. And I woke up the next morning and I thought, I know what I'm going to be. I know what I want to do. And so I have to say I'm very grateful for whatever came to me, whatever angel came to me, or however that happened. And so I've never really ever thought I'm in the wrong place. And I think the biggest thing for me is that photography kind of gave me a reason to go out and meet people and do things, experience the world. And I wanted a piece of it. I wanted a big bite of the world, and I wanted to kind of experience life. And working in photography has really, in many ways been difficult, but rewarding too.
Well, your industry has evolved so much, over the years. I mean, going from, back with film and now digital. And I mean, you've had to, evolve through the technology in addition to just being an artist.
Yes. When I started in high school, we had big cameras and film and a lot of, tanks and chemicals, and I love the magic of watching an image come up in the tray. It's so exciting, and it is kind of magic, and so over the years, most of the things that we were doing was working in transparency film with large cameras. I actually gravitated towards antique cameras and large 4x5s and would shoot 200-300 sheets of 4x5 on an assignment. And then the cameras got smaller, and I kind of resisted for a long time. And then after a while, the advantages of creating a digital imagery just overtook you. And so that was a whole revolution. And also Wes Hardison, who works with Fat Cat, has been a digital artist that I've worked with for, I think, almost 25 years. He's master at the digital realm. and also master printer and fine art darkroom technician. We worked together over the years to kind of perfect the digital, and now because I love the look of fast lenses, and when you get that winning combination, it's great. But in the end, most important thing is what's in front of the camera.
Do you miss the older days of film? It seems like you were a little put off by the digital age at first. Do you miss the way film was produced in the past?
Yeah, I think in some ways, the digital age has almost, brought down the prestige and the artistry behind photography. I think because it's so accessible and easy to make good pictures, that it's more abundant out there. And I think at the same time, really great imagery will always withstand the test of time. And still to this day, when I see a really great photograph, I look at it and go, wow, somebody touched a feeling there. And I think in the end, that's where photography always needs to be. And especially with film and video, it's even more like hyped up, because you can tell the story from different angles, close-ups and wide views.
I always enjoy talking to artists because I'm not an artistic mind. I've always been a logical numbers type of person. And so when you hand me a camera, I take a picture, I think it looks great, but I never take my camera off the auto setting. But then I see an image produced by a professional photographer. I'm like, wow. How do you capture those finesse moments, those fine moments? I mean, because your eye is just so much more trained than I am to look for that detail.
Well, thank you for saying so. I try to get out of the way of too much credit, because for me, it's what is in front of the camera that is the beautiful thing. And so I kind of don't forget that I'm mostly there to just kind of like guide the camera and to witness and to experience what's in front of the camera, sometimes to manipulate it and change it, but always with the reverence for the subject. And so that's kind of like one of the details. But how do you become a good photographer? How do you take command of an art form? A lot of it, Jamie, is presenting yourself, showing up, doing the work. And if you keep practicing over time, you will find your own voice and your own music within you. And when you can identify that and hold on to that, people are going to like it.
I read a quote from you. It said, you can retouch certain things in a photo or video, but you can never retouch what's behind the eyes, the emotion. A great quote.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think it also speaks to the kind of work that we really like to do at Erickson Stock, and that is, telling a story about what it's like to be human. That's a fun thing.
Your industry today, though, is under attack. The digital age has made piracy, so easy. How do you protect your images, or how do you protect your own intellectual property these days?
I think most people want to do the right thing and do the right thing in terms of copyright infringement. And, we do have people that kind of hijack our images and use them. And, we always just try to be really even and hope they kind of, come to see that the artist should be compensated for their work. And so we kind of have a tracking mechanism with that. And I think we do feel like I think people want to do the right thing.
Now today you're focusing on the video stock industry or business. Are you still working as a photographer, or is all your efforts towards video stock?
I still shoot pictures. I think one of the things that I kind of discovered, and is that early in my career, the film industry, like when I was in Los Angeles or somewhere on a TV set or production set, they didn't really like photographers, and I could never figure out why. And then I started the stock photography business, and we were creating both simultaneously film footage and stills. And my belief was that it's the same moment. And now I kind of really think, they don't like each other. They don't play well with each other. And so I try to stop what I'm doing and focus on one thing. Lately, it's been more about film, but it's also, still photographs are like riding a bike. I think that the important difference in film and print is that the moments are drier, should be smaller in film and bigger in print. And so when the actors or the talent or your models are, kind of revved up for a peak moment in still photographs, it doesn't play well to the motion cameras. So today we separate them, but still love for both.
How's the market response been to the stock video footage that you have available? Is there an educational curve that you've got to overcome to get the message out there to the people that, hey, this is available?
Yeah, I think it's such a kind of revolutionary concept. People, need a little curve to say, wait a minute, I can buy this footage, I can actually use this, I can actually put a voiceover. And that is, I think one of the hurdles that we have, but we also have like a lot of interest. People will really like this idea. And most of all, without sounding like I'm bragging too much, people like the footage and they like the people. All of the kind of skills that you bring to bear, for a customer like United Airlines, we're bringing to bear right with our own thing. And so it has a sensibility and a look that's big. And I think the thing is, for me, the biggest hurdle is the voiceover, right? And that is to get to people to say, just say what your need is or what service you're at, and put it over the top of those things. It's magic how it works, and it's a testimony that human emotion and relationships are captivating to watch and intriguing, and they all tell the same story over and over again.
Now, your video stock, again, focuses primarily on seniors and healthcare. You got over, 160 available, videos available at ericksonstock.com. Simply drop in a logo, a voiceover, maybe pull out some B-roll from, below the video on the site. Very accessible, very easy to use. What's your plans to develop the stock footage outside of the seniors and healthcare, or is there a plan to focus on other industries?
Well, I think I'm kind of happy where I'm at. I think that this is a big enough challenge, and it's like I said, it's a really a feel good thing, and I think that once people understand that they can connect, sometimes a lot of creative people, in my experience, they want to get their hands on it. Ray Charles says, get their stink on it. And so that's why that B-roll comes in. And I think, getting over the inertia to go to an editor or even come to us and say, this is kind of what we have in mind. Can you do something for us? Then it's kind of a partnership, and we help people over that little hurdle. I have a feeling that once people get that and they're over the hurdle, they're not going to want to go back. They're not going to want to take the risk of a large production, and they're going to recognize that the other stock houses just have abstract clips that you can only string together, and here you have something that you can actually get in and make your own story with.
Got about a minute left. In closing, what advice would you leave for the young, aspiring, or even the experienced artists out there, the photographers and the videographers that are coming through the business, today?
I would say, if you want to choose it for a profession, you got to really love it, and you got to do it just for that. And hope and pray and maybe work so that it can reward you financially. But I think if you don't have like a burning desire to do it, keep it as a hobby, because it's just such a wonderful thing to do, and it opens up the world for you, and people like to be photographed, so it's a friend maker.
Absolutely. Jim Ericsson, owner of Erickson Stock and legendary motion and still photographer. Thank you so much for being on the program with me today. A great interview.
Thank you, Jamie. Nice to be here.
Absolutely. And learn more, again, ericksonstock.com, where you can see all their videos available on demand. You simply just license them, drop in your own voiceover and logo, and maybe add a little B-roll that they have available on the site as well. And then you got your own video for your use on social media, on your website, whatever it is that you would like to use it for. ericksonstock.com. Catch new episodes of our program weekday mornings, 9 a.m. on thatbusinessnetwork.com, and please connect with us all across social media, facebook.com/thatbusinessshow. Also, our show's available on iTunes, so please like us, please subscribe to us, and we would appreciate it. It helps the show grow. So you've been listening to That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.